Hello, this is Right Side Trader. Today is June 14th, 2025, and this is my weekly market review, where I'm reviewing the NASDAQ 100, that's QQQ, on a quarterly chart, monthly chart, weekly chart, and a daily chart. This is all for educational purposes only, no trade recommendation, because as we all know, trading is risky. You can lose money at trading, so please check with your financial advisor. Please check with your significant other before getting involved in trading. All right, let's just take a look at these charts and see what we see this week. Let me maximize this quarterly chart. Besides it, zoom in a little bit. We see green. We see almost like a bullish engulfing. We're going to see this for a while, as long as this market doesn't pull back down below that opening of that red candle, that previous red candle. And also, things are looking good. Things are looking bullish. This is that previous red candle here, and this is the bullish engulfing candle, engulfing that previous candle. So on this big time picture, everything is looking good for us long-term traders, holding our long positions and staying long. And when we're looking at the big picture, that's what this kind of tells us. But let's go ahead and go down to this monthly chart and see what we see there on this month. Let me go back over here on this monthly chart. Zoom in a little bit here on this monthly chart. Come in here in June, a couple of weeks into the month, almost now, and we're still at that top. But every time we get close to anything close to making all-time highs, we're getting pushed back pretty good, and we've gotten pushed back pretty good here. So kind of be careful here. We're still above a quarterly R1, so we're still okay, and we're still above the 10 moving average, so we're still bullish. So everything is looking good, and we're getting confirmation of this morning star that we have, this crazy looking morning star pattern here. So things are still looking good for the bulls and all, but be cautious. We're getting quite a bit of getting a little bit of a tail on this candle here. But let's go ahead and go down to the weekly chart and see what we see there. On this weekly chart, zoom in a little bit here. Zoom. And on this weekly chart, what we see, this past week we got a little red. We came up to a monthly R1. What I'm looking at here, when I say a monthly R1, I'm looking at this line right here, this green line. That's our monthly R1. We couldn't break that, and then we ended up turning red, coming back down a little bit. But we're still quite a ways above our pivot, so we're still good. And we still are making higher lows, and we did make a higher high and all. So again, it's still looking good, but the thing is, we got a lot of supply over here in this red candle and all this selling off that we had here. We're at that top, and trading at the top is always kind of rough, and that's what's happening right now. The question is, now come next week, will we end up getting a candle like this, going back to the downside? That wouldn't be good. Then that would be giving us an evening star. Then we'll be looking for confirmation coming back down to the downside. And would it break pivot? Then we will really be in trouble, and this market might start trying to make a leg down, or coming back at least down to the 50 moving average, or coming back down and filling this gap here. So that's what we have to be careful looking at this weekly picture, looking at that. But right now, since this past week we did end up with a red candle, inverted hammer, be a little bit cautious on any kind of, just to be cautious. Follow your trading plan and your trading strategy based on what we're seeing here on this chart. Let's go ahead and go down to the daily chart and see what we see there. On the daily chart, let's zoom here. This week, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, we were at a top last week. We were at a top that made a top last week. We did end up breaking that top this week, last week top, and then like I said, like I was saying on the weekly chart, we could see that we was making higher lows and higher highs, but this Friday we sold off pretty good. I don't know what happened. It was kind of like Thursday after the close, but we can see we had made a top, and then we made a lower high, and now we made a lower high, and then now we actually made a lower low, but with a hammer here, with this hammer. So now we got to see, can we end up getting come next week, we're going to be opening below pivot. So below pivot, I always look to stay below pivot. So we might come down to an R1, and then we may get our bounce back to the upside. But we got to kind of like wait and see. Next week is going to be a different week. Since we look like we're going to be opening below this pivot line here. So opening below pivot line, we can come down to here. Anything can always happen, and then we see if we get our bounce and our reversal back up, and see if we can get back above pivot by the end of next week. So it's going to be a different week. It might be a rest week for me. The market, if this thing starts trying to make a leg down. That's all what I see here, and that's all I have for today on the Qs. Hope you guys had a great week. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you next week. This is Right Side Trader. Have a good one. Bye.